Hello adventurers, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Bunny and this is my NV200 Dimples. We travel the United States sharing all of our adventures on our regular weekly uploads. On Saturdays specifically, we share van content and I show you all of the things that go into Dimples here and how it makes all of the adventures possible. We started out on something last week. If you didn't catch that video, make sure that you click the link above or the description below for that particular video where we built a bed. Now this isn't just any van bed build, however. This is one that was custom to my small space because I don't have a lot of room in the NV. I made sure that I had tons of room underneath the bed for storage, a flip out table, and a few other cool features. Now, starting off in van life, I did start out with a no build for the first almost year of my journeys, and that worked out really well for me, but it was time to make a few changes. I do encourage you to go and check out that particular video to see why I started out that way and how that allowed me to transition into this, and it'll answer some of your questions. But now is time that I show you how we cut the mattress for this bed. I had such a journey doing this. It was kind of an interesting project, and it was filled with a few struggles along the way. I also want to tell you a little bit more about why I got away from the no build and transitioned to this so that I can kind of give you some context. So let's talk about that and get everything set up. Okay adventurers, we are inside right now because it is like 100 degrees in the Texas sweltering heat right now. Normally this would be a project that I would do outside so I can spread out a little bit more, but you know, base camp is good for many things, and cutting inside in the heat, definitely one of those. Now before we're tackling this project, I did watch several different YouTubers and see kind of what they suggested. A lot of them were very consistent, but one video came in handy specifically, and that was a video by a lady named Handy Girl. So if you're looking for bed cutting, go check out her video also, but this is what I'm doing. So this is the structure that I have set up to support the weight of the mattress. This is a full-size mattress. I did go ahead and purchase a full size because I may eventually extend out my bed a little bit more if I have a friend come along. I did support it with 2 bar stools, a card table, and then on the end over there I do have my chair. So you know, you make the best of your space that you have, and this is going to work out really well. Now realistically for this project, all you need is a couple of items. I have the bed itself, which I'm going to link in the description below. This is an Oli mattress, got it off of Amazon, and we have an electric kitchen knife. I've never used this particular knife, so this is going to be its first use, and I think this is a great way for me to use it. Realistically, this is awesome. I am also going to be bringing out a measuring tape so that I can mark off how big I want the mattress. This will be a super easy step. I'm just going to do it at the middle and then both ends also, and then draw a nice straight line down so I have a nice base to work with. Now as for the measurements of my mattress, my bed itself is 26 inches. I'm going to make it a little bit wider because I do have a tiny bit of a side gap over the wheel well, which I did on purpose so that I could store some things there, but also so that I could push the mattress up against it. So that's kind of what we're doing, and let's get to it. Okay, our first step was to unzip the mattress backing and pull it all off, and then we're going to move over here and expose our corner to see what we're working with on here. Okay, so we have a secondary cover that's made out of this weird material right here. This probably will not make it through the process, so we'll probably have to cut this off and then get down to that foam. Okay, so this is what we're working with underneath. It's a multi-level foam, and in these corners it did get squished down just a little bit, but it looks like we have this layer and then this layer and then this layer. So this is going to be more of a high density foam, which is going to hold a little bit more of the structure, and these are going to be the more soft, squishy, comfortable foams, which will be on the top of the mattress. Now that we have opened it up, I actually flipped it over so we can see the side we'll be sleeping on. I wanted to do this so that I can mark it correctly, but also so I could see if there's any imperfections. If there are, those pieces are the ones that are going to go. Now, while I do want to save this mattress so that I can use it potentially for an expansion, I want the best quality for the part that I'm keeping right now. So, for example, this little piece right here was actually torn, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this part off. This is not the piece that will be on my bed, and you know, that just kind of happens sometimes with these prepackaged beds. The foam just gets so tight that it kind of snaps apart. So this entire section will be the section that we keep for a rainy day, just in case. And this section right here will be the one that we actually keep for the bed. So we're going to be measuring over about 28 inches from here and then marking the bed. Whew, that was a little harder than I thought it would be, but the cutting itself, not terrible. The problem was the mattress being so big, getting to this center part took a lot of work. And my knife, while it's the first time I've ever used it, I don't think was the best knife for this particular project. It did work, but it left me with kind of a rough edge. That's okay. This particular edge is going to be facing the wall, so it won't be that bad, but wow, we're done, guys. Now we're going to take the cover that we had, and for the time being, I'm actually going to put this mattress back in the cover and then just kind of double it over. Eventually, I will be reupholstering this, but I want to do that after I come back from my trip. That way, if I do need to make any modifications to the mattress, I can before I do something so permanent as to, you know, making covers. So let's get this thing covered back up and test it out in the van. Okay, as you can see, the bed is now in place, and it is much thicker than the last mattress. In fact, the entire cot only sat up to about here, even with the foam. But I wanted to do something a little bit more sturdy and stable, and also that would give me a little bit more support for my back. Now, if you didn't see in one of my other videos, I actually hurt my back long before I started my travels, but occasionally it flares up, especially if I have a very taxing day on a trail. So there's nothing better than to come back to camp and to be able to kick off my shoes and be comfortable with a little bit of muscle rub. My cot left a little bit to be desired in that way over time as it started to get a little bit older and sag down just a little bit. And so sometimes I would have to support my leg a little bit more with an extra pillow in order to find that happy spot. Now with this mattress, I don't have to worry about that because it's nice and plush, so it's not going to break down as quickly as the smaller foam that I previously used. Let me give you an illustration of the difference. Now, as you can see, the bottom mattress versus the top pad. This is what we were working with, and this is what we're now working with. This one right here did very well, but again, over time, it's become a lot softer than whenever I originally purchased it. And then this one right here, look at that. It has that high density foam at the bottom, so it's going to maintain the structure of it a bit better than just this right here. And that is something that I would tell you if you're wanting to create a bed that is comfortable for yourself. Take into consideration the needs that you have specifically and also the durability of the materials. I picked these up and they have lasted me over a couple of years, and that has been perfect. So starting out, absolutely. But this is going to last me longer than that because of that extra foam. Not to mention, the high density foam is designed for people like myself who want to give their back a little extra support. Now, I mentioned to you in the first portion of building the bed that I would explain fully as to why I was upgrading from the cot itself. I have loved this cot. It has done very good by me. And the mattress itself I had for a little while already. So again, tried and true. However, the cot has run its course. Not because I want to get rid of it, not because I just want to throw it out, but because it literally has run its course. This thing has been used for several years now on all sorts of adventures and then just in practical life as an additional bed. But over time, the cot has started to break down. This is what's actually happening to the cot itself. As you can see, it's pulling away at the seams, and this is where I typically sit on the cot. So right kind of in the center, right under this leg, and on both sides, it is starting to do this. Now, while they do have replacement parts and things like that that you can find some places, it basically costs the same amount as just buying another cot. So I thought this was a good time for me to switch it up and go ahead and pull the trigger on doing something that I now feel confident doing, building a bed that can be more stationary. I can still take it out if I want to, however, it's going to provide extra structure and support for me when I'm on the road in a more permanent way, kind of. I mean, can you call something that can still come out permanent? I don't know. But yeah, so that's kind of why I decided to make the change. And this allows me also to adjust the height to the larger bin size. It allows me to get the bigger mattress for my back. And all in all, it allows me to retire a really good friend. Now, some of you are probably saying, well, you could have just put a top on top of the cot or kept using it until it completely broke through. And yes, I could have done either one of those things. However, I decided it was better for me to build something now that I kind of had an idea as to what I needed on the road. And I think that that's a thing that we all kind of get to in our no-build life. We get to a point where we're just like, okay, I'm confident in how I have everything set up. I feel as though it's time to take that plunge, and that's what I did while I had the resources available to do so and while I had help from my dad. And I think that that was a great project for him and I to tackle together, and it was really, really cool because I learned a lot of new things. So this has been a fun endeavor for me from the very start, from the no build all the way up into the semi build that we have now. Not to mention, by going ahead and doing this, I didn't have to worry about that moment where I'm on the road and all of a sudden, boop, the bottom falls out and I'm on top of all my stuff. Because, you know, this bin specifically would have been real bad. This is where I keep all my kitchen supplies, and somewhere in there, there's my knives. Yeah, we don't want to fall on those. Okay, so now all we need to do is actually make the bed, and then we're off to our adventure. We have been at base camp for just a little while working on projects and getting the van nice and ready for tons of adventures. And actually, I completed a couple of other projects while we were working on the bed that are really cool. For example, I added a bottle opener to the back table so that I can pick up some of those little gourmet fancy sodas and drink them with my pinky out. That was fun because we installed it, I painted it to make it look really, really cool and match the van, and then also I created a custom pillow. I am so excited about that one because, you know, that's the nice little touches that kind of aren't as important for the function, but certainly make it feel more like home, and I had a blast learning how to sew that also. Tons of projects, tons of learning, and now we're about to be off. Let's make the bed. Okay, adventurers, that is it. Thank you for coming along with me for my bed build as well as my mattress installation today. I have had a crazy good time doing this and sharing it with you all. I hope some of these things can be helpful to you at home. And remember what I said, when you're looking for a mattress, think about your personal needs. Super, super important. If you've enjoyed today's video, make sure that you leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and check out all of our future upcoming content. We're headed off to Colorado to escape this heat, and I can't wait to share all of those adventures with you. Until next time, guys, bye! And for those of you who wanted to know, all we have to do to close this up is pull down these little hinges, lift up just a little bit, and push down. And yeah, I used my chin. I'm being resourceful because we do that on the channel. Yeah.